Anyway, let's get to some of the exciting stuff that we cover at openminds.tv on a daily basis, and that is UFO news. And the gentleman I mentioned before, Jason McClellan, is here to tell us all about it. Hello, Mr. McClellan.
Hello, Alejandro, and greetings, everyone. This is your Open Minds News Brief for Monday, July 11th, 2011. For those who can't figure that out, that would be 7-11-11, as you pointed out this morning, Alejandro.
Yeah, I was very excited about that. 7-11-11. There's some kind of numerological conspiracy there.
I wonder if 7-Eleven is doing any sort of special promo. Have you noticed they've been doing a lot of extraterrestrial-themed movie promos?
That's right.
They're doing Cowboys and Aliens right now, and they did a big promotion for Super 8 as well.
The Slurpee might be a back-engineered technology.
Now this is back more in your era, Alejandro, but wasn't one of their slogans something like "There's something afoot" or something?
I don't remember something like that.
Maybe I'm just thinking of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I think so.
Excellent. Well, let's get into the news, Alejandro. We'll start with sort of a peculiar story. The U.S. government filed suit against Apollo astronaut Dr. Edgar Mitchell on Wednesday, June 29th in Miami federal court in attempts to reclaim a 16-millimeter data acquisition camera that was used during the 1971 Apollo 14 lunar mission. According to the Washington Post, the lawsuit contends Mitchell recently tried to sell the camera at an auction. The movie camera from the lunar surface was reportedly going to be auctioned off by the British auction house Bonhams as part of a space history sale in May, with a pre-sale estimate of $60,000 to $80,000. But Bonhams pulled the camera from the auction when they learned about the lawsuit. As Discovery News explains, the suit points out that all equipment and property used during NASA operations remains the property of NASA unless explicitly released or transferred to another party, and that NASA had no knowledge of Mitchell being given the camera. And while NASA asserts ownership of the camera in question, Mitchell's attorney, Donald Jacobson, contends objects from the lunar trip to the moon were ultimately mounted and then presented to the astronauts as a gift after they helped NASA on a mission. Jacobson also stated that NASA approved the transferring of ownership of the camera to Mitchell 40 years ago. So it's kind of strange that they would wait 40 years to bring this lawsuit to get their camera back, and some contend that maybe they didn't realize it was gone until now. They just started going through their...
Well, they lost all those Apollo films.
Yeah, so it's possible they're very bad with records. They're very bad with their inventory tracking.
Do you see a conspiracy here?
No, I don't see a conspiracy, but many people do.
Yeah, well, he did. They were seemingly upset about his, recent criticisms about NASA holding stuff back.
Correct. And, of course, Edgar Mitchell has been outspoken about his belief in extraterrestrials, so that's something else that fuels some of the conspiracy thoughts right now, that maybe NASA's coming to get this camera because it might contain some incriminating evidence or something, but... That would make more sense if it was a camera from today, a digital camera that has a card in it or something. But this is an old 16-millimeter film camera.
Unless there's a little alien stuck inside of it
40 years ago, if there were footage on it, I'm sure Edgar got it already.
Yeah, if there's any conspiracy, maybe just give him a hard time because he gave them a hard time. Kind of like, hey, you're not our friend anymore because you're being a jerk or something.
But then another theory that's been put forward is that NASA needs money. And I'm sure it caught their attention when, hey, this piece of junk camera is going to fetch 80 grand. We want that 80 grand.
Yeah, we can build another rover tire with that.
Yeah, it's not too far off, my friend. As sad as it is. Let's talk about crop circles. We have another crop circle to talk about. It was a crop circle that appeared in a wheat field 2 weeks ago. And this is sort of a hometown crop circle for us, Alejandro, because it's here in the U.S. of A.
All right.
Not an English crop circle.
Crop Circle USA.
That's right. So this one was in Beardstown, Illinois, and I like that name. I wonder if people there have beards. Lots of beards in Beardstown, Illinois.
I would grow a beard in Beardstown.
That's a fantastic name. I would too. You'd feel you're not doing your job if you don't have a beard in Beardstown.
People probably look at you funny like, you're disloyal.
If you ain't got a beard, get out.
Yeah.
But this circle was 49 feet in diameter and was initially discovered by the field's farmer, who was driving around in his tractor and looked over and saw it. And he didn't believe it, and pulled out his cell phone camera, took a picture of it, and he went over and actually investigated. He was looking around for any traces, footprints, or anything, and didn't see anything. And then the BLT research team, which Nancy Talbot is a part of, we've had her on the show many times, they apparently came out and visited the field to examine the circle, but their results are still pending. And the farmer has since plowed his crop, but the circle is still visible, as happens with crop circles. You can still sort of see it. And apparently this isn't the only strange thing that's happened in this field. Other strange things have happened before, such as, I guess I've seen these before, you don't hear too much about it, but conjoined watermelons, cantaloupes, and pumpkins.
All three? Oh, in
probably
this
not
field.
all three together, but
Uh-huh.
but like Siamese watermelons, like two together.
Interesting.
And even another crop circle was seen there years ago in the same field. And
Really?
yeah. So while the farmer was initially intrigued by the crop circle, he said if another one appears, he's going to immediately plow it, because as a result of this recent circle, he's been completely inundated with calls from UFO and crop circle organizations wanting to see the circle. So he says the calls have just come in day and night, nonstop.
Oh,
so
no.
he's overwhelmed and wants nothing to do with crop circles.
Oh, that's too bad.
So it
especially
seemed
if
like
he's had
you know
one
we
before.
hear about that a lot with the farmers in England because they deal with it a lot.
Yeah.
But this guy was kind of intrigued by it, but that was soured pretty quickly because he's just overwhelmed with people wanting to see it.
Well, hopefully that's the type of person where you got to make a friends with and say, well, you know, if I understand your problems, just get a hold of me on that, and hopefully BLT will make a good relationship with him and he'll trust them because at least they spend time to do something.
I really admire at least how responsive he was to people wanting to research it a little bit. You know, he certainly welcomed BLT there, and also one of the local reporters, I guess, he invited them out to the field to see the circle and do a report on it. So
and it was a simple circle, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, how interesting. I mean, I'm excited to hear what BLT finds, and I'm sure they have some initial thoughts. So
The
we'll have
preliminary results I saw, the only things that have been released from BLT was that when they got there, they saw signs that could have been animal tracks, a few animal tracks in the area, but that's it. So.
Yeah, it looks like a very clean, nice circle.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about something we have been talking about a lot lately because it's been in the news a lot lately, and that is radio telescopes. Astronomers in Australia hope that Western Australia will be selected as the home of the world's most powerful radio telescope. According to the International Business Times, Australia is in competition with 9 African countries, including South Africa, that have made it to a short list of nominees to become the home of the Square Kilometre Array, or SKA radio telescope. The Sydney Morning Herald reports that Australia is considered to be the best location for the SKA telescope, but politics could influence the decision. Professor Fred Wilson, astronomer in charge of the Australian Astronomical Observatory in New South Wales, is a major proponent of building the SKA radio telescope in Australia. The Sydney Morning Herald quotes Watson as saying, "The SKA will be by far the most sensitive radio telescope ever built. It will have the potential to reveal all kinds of things, ranging from the possibility of picking up signals from aliens, if they exist. The SKA radio telescope will also be used to explore dark matter and to explore the origins of the universe. A group of international scientists is expected to make the final decision in 2012. Construction will then begin in 2016, leading to a projected operational date of 2024.
That's a long ways away.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it last or 2 weeks ago, I guess. We were off last week, but these radio telescopes take a lot of money to operate.
Yeah.
Big time bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So here's yet another one, and it will be the most sensitive, so most powerful. So we wish them well, and there again, many other people picking up the slack for SETI, who is experiencing their own financial problems.
Yep. And I noticed that the Russian scientists are getting a little more news too. We wrote about them and them talking about SETI and METI actually sending messages, which is controversial. Because people think, the aliens will come get us if we send them messages. But, yeah, there's a lot. It's interesting. There's definitely a lot of talk going on, and people in other countries at least moving forward on possible SETI solutions.
Yeah.
And SETI, interesting enough, too, is it being a universal term, not just here. It's one organization. But
correct. But, you know, being in the U.S., we hear a lot about about SETI, the U.S.-based SETI. But it's interesting to hear just how, these radio telescopes, these big telescope arrays, are global. They're in various countries all over the world.
Pretty soon everyone will have them. By 2024, they'll probably be able to make like a radio telescope hat that is wirelessly communicates with each other. And so we'll all be wearing these hats. And it'll be like one ginormous radio telescope. That's my idea.
People freak out now about their cell phones causing radiation. What do you think they're going to freak out about with a big dish
People
on
don't
their
mind.
head?
We still use the radio. We're like, I don't care. Radiate my head. I need my text messages.
You're true. Yeah, you're exactly right. I keep my phone with me all the time.
Yep.
Whatever. I'll take it. Let's talk about this, Alejandro. More fireballs. Now, I'm fascinated by these. We hear a lot of stories about fireball UFOs. Aren't you fascinated by fireball UFOs?
I am lately, especially with the recent stories.
Yeah, some of these are crazy. And there was a fireball UFO seen in the sky above Cuernavaca, Mexico on Wednesday, June 29th. And one witness captured the flaming object on video from the side of the road. The Epoch Times described the object in the video as looking like a meteorite dropping from the sky with a bright pinkish orb at the bottom, trailed by two long glowing orange tails. But the Telegraph points out that people who have viewed the video speculate the object could simply have been a meteor or space junk. However, the slow movement and trajectory of the object in this video present the possibility that the UFO was actually an airplane, and the glowing orange tails were simply the sun reflecting off the condensation trails from the plane. An aerial object's trajectory can be difficult to determine, and optical illusions have certainly thrown people off before. If you remember the mystery missile off the coast of California that was caught on video back in November of 2010, and that would appear to be a missile blasting through the California sky was simply an airplane.
No,
but
it wasn't.
Because of the angle of the video camera and the plane's long vapor trail, the object appeared quite missile-like in the video. While the object observed last Wednesday above Cuernavaca, Mexico, may have been an airplane, no official identification has been made. But as the Epoch Times points out, fireball UFOs are witnessed in countries all over the world. And we've reported that certainly in recent weeks.
Yeah.
And in fact, today, well, it was last week, there was another fireball UFO seen in Georgia. And it looked identical to this one. The same sort of like winged pattern with
Right, that's what's incredible about these. They seem to be almost like, it's very strange. It's like maybe a circular thing with two tails, one on each side, the left and the right. I mean, and we've seen several of these. In one of the videos, it seems clear that the object changes its trajectory.
That is correct.
I think these videos are really weird. I mean, we haven't seen these before. All of a sudden, there's a string of them. I mean, on a regular basis. If they were just jets, you'd think people would record this sort of thing on a regular basis, but it seems far and few between.
And with the Mexico one, I believe, it was suggested that it could possibly be some sort of supersonic jet or something. And you can see that with it has a weird, distinctive wing pattern.
Yeah.
And to me, the wings almost look like the Virgin Galactic plane. How they're kind of weird. But yeah, no idea what they are. And like you said, some of them go straight and some change their direction.
That's entirely possible. Some secret space plane or something going on. That's what I think is interesting about that missile out of L.A. because that now they're saying could possibly be a plane. But a lot of experts were saying back then it is a missile. And I was curious, and I looked into this and a little bit about, the space plane that the Air Force, the secret space plane unmanned that they've been flying around. They call it secret even though they told the public about it, but they're still secret about what it does. Where the heck did they launch that thing? And what if wouldn't people see the missile launch? And I guess in California, in Southern California, they do launch missiles kind of on a regular. That's where they launch their secret payloads out of. So, and of course, just like they were with the unmanned space plane, they're unclear, or they don't come forth with the information, or they leave information out, or they just straight out lie. So who knows what those things could be. Very interesting.
Yeah, you're right. There's
exciting.
A lot of unknowns up there that are both from here and not from here. So
You know what I think is cool too is that the Epic Times has been picking up a lot of UFO stories.
they really have. Yeah.
And they ran your video that's gotten nearly 200,000 hits on YouTube.
Right.
And then the next one was these orb things, these fireballs, which they've been running stories on for the last couple of weeks.
They have been
now.
focusing more on things like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Pretty cool.
Good job, Epic Times.
Epic Times rocks.
All right, and one more story we'll do here about something from our home base of Phoenix. The first monsoon storm of the year slammed Phoenix last Tuesday evening. I'm sure many of you heard about this and saw the crazy pictures and videos online of the storm arriving in the form of an ominous haboob. And for those of you not from
What'd you
here
call me?
that don't know, Alejandro is called a haboob. Now, a haboob is a massive wall of dirt, and I must correct media around the world because, and even some not so far away media organizations keep referring to the storm as the sandstorm. And this is Arizona. We don't have sand. We have dirt.
Yeah,
It's a big
dirt.
dust storm.
The deserts here are dirt.
We're not the Middle East. We have dust storms, just a big dirt storms. Disgusting. But we had one last Tuesday evening, and a video of the impressive Haboob's approach was shot by a camera on a helicopter belonging to local ABC news affiliate KNXV, and this video quickly gained international attention when CNN posted the video to their website. And two lights in the video are visible, both appearing very close to the mammoth wall of dirt. One of these UFOs simply hovers while the other moves through the sky and eventually flies over the KNXV helicopter. Some viewers began to speculate that these UFOs were extraterrestrial in origin, and various people were putting up videos on YouTube showing the CNN video and adding their own commentary and pausing the video and saying, "See, it looks like a saucer, it's a UFO." But the identity of the mysterious moving light soon became apparent when the Phoenix Fox affiliate, KSAZ, aired a story about a Southwest Airlines plane that was making its final approach to Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport as the Haboob was rolling in. According to KSAZ, the plane couldn't land on its first approach, and for some reason had to turn around and land to the west just before the cloud covered Sky Harbor. As for the identity of this stationary object in the sky, it was most likely another news helicopter, and quite possibly it was the news helicopter that captured video footage that was published by Russia Today, showing an alternate angle of the Southwest Airlines plane as it was coming in. So I think we identified them. It's kind of interesting watching them in the video, and you see different angles, and you can't really tell. For a while, it looks like the Southwest airplane isn't moving, but it's just the angle it's coming in at. And an interesting tidbit here, my mother-in-law was on that flight.
Oh, you're kidding.
She was.
Oh, that's
It was
funny.
the Southwest
She must have had an
flight.
amazing view.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, the pilot was kind of freaked out, too. He said he'd never seen anything like it, and they
Oh
just
my
watched it. It
gosh.
was rolling in, and
Wow.
pretty cool.
Yeah, and thanks to ABC 15 for referring to your story on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
The
couple
ominous Haboob.
Haboob.
I like that name, the ominous Haboob.
ominous Haboob. It's fun to
Good
say.
band name or something.
And I'm for those of you who have never heard of a Haboob, I'm glad we could educate you today. We try to provide some education with our show.
A wall of
It's what it's all
disgusting
about.
dirt.
Yes, disgusting wall of dirt.
All right. Well,
That is it for the news, Alejandro. Remember to check out these stories and more at openminds.tv, your source for UFO-related news. I'm Jason McClellan, your Open Minds news correspondent, and you've been briefed.